Hey guys, good morning. Can you hear me? I am Batman. I am Batman. Alright, Joby down, Weeble down. Trilogy Metals. I guess all these rare earth metal companies have been going crazy. Oh, I want to short this BTQ. Have you guys heard of this thing? BTQ. Is this Eric, what's his name's company? Is this not the right company? This may not be the right company. No, I think the 68 deal was pretty good. I think it'll go up. I'm buying it. Yeah, I thought the Sarepta data looked good. I was gonna keep looking at that today. Why can't I chat? Yeah, so the SPRB deal was a PIPE. So that's a private investment in public equity. So they used the 5-day average price. So obviously the people that got in that deal got a pretty good sweetheart deal where, they got a really big discount to the market price. But I think a lot of institutions know the stock now and probably will, I think it'll go to 200 or 300 pretty soon. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't even think you know what a dark pool is, Soo-hyun. Quantum is all fraud. I don't know why, it's gone up so much to sell your stock. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to go to, you think IonQ is going to be bigger than NVIDIA or it's going to be like Meta or something? You got lucky. Just sell it. You know what the fuck you're doing. Roz, I'm trying to understand it. Some of the people I've been talking to, even a couple in Goodell, just one or two, some of you guys are really fucking stupid. It's really rather annoying. Yeah, I think they listen to a pitch and then they do the trade. Yeah, I like Sarepta. Rigetti's such a shit show. Sehyun, I don't think you understand what you're even looking at. What institutions are buying in the dark pool? What the fuck are you talking about? My ankle's kind of busted. It's very rainy out here in New York. That's a good question, Toby. I haven't looked at Scholar Rock in a minute. Gotham. Sarepta's presenting at World Muscle Society. And some PDFs are out. Their presentations are out. I should have posted them, actually. I need a better content management system, to be honest. We fixed Nibbles the cat, so Nibbles is walking around with a cone. It's so sad. And I'll try to show you guys the baby if the baby wakes up. The baby is awake. You hear him, kitty? You hear the baby crying? Why that baby crying? I was burping him earlier. I use Philco keyboards. Trading gappers today? What the fuck does that mean? Trading gappers? Who? I'll go against Shane. I'll go against Shane. Yeah, I still have clothes from 10 years ago. I probably should get some new ones. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can always think that this time is different, and then reality will set in. You know, quantum, meme coins, etc. But I think that, you know, I just stick to the way, you know, sorry, I'm just, somebody's asking about options flow, and I really can't say this enough that, you know, you should not be looking at options volume and trading flow for very much of anything. I don't know anything about rare minerals, rare earth minerals. Like, I don't even know what that means. Don't know Zora. Random P&Ls? My man, random. That's so funny, Kev. Trading gappers in the dark pool with the options flow. What does the options flow tell you? That a trade happened? Isn't that called the tape? I'm not going to look at rare earths because I just don't know them. For me to start learning a new space would be really tough. I haven't been buff in a long time. Yeah, Christian, for sure. Most biotech management teams have no idea about the stock market. They've never raised money, they just listen to the banker. And then the banker just does they're supposed to do right by the client, but they're supposed to do right by their investors too. Yeah, personally, I don't know any great investors that are looking at time and sales and divining very much from it. Traders do it a little bit too, but only guys on the street where blocks cross on the street. Yeah, exactly, QW. They do whatever gets the deal done. I'm buying some SP. You should really change your name. Yeah, D-Wave is a 0. Yeah, I like SPRB. I think most biotech managements don't know what they're doing in capital markets. I mean, that's pretty typical. I think SPRB is like 500 or 600, maybe more. I don't think it's too late on buying some. I haven't looked closely at Regenex. anything about Kraken. Well, some of you guys are really funny. Even after dilution? When professionals look at stocks that need cash, we model in that the company raises capital. So yesterday, if you read my tweet, I said that I assume the company has 3 million shares outstanding when they had 750. After the offering now, they have 1.5 million. So I'm still assuming they're going to raise more money. Capper is not a buy, never has been a buy. I'm just going to start banning people that are too stupid. Perfect Prince says, it's just too far away from market, too long away, but maybe not. What? What? We're here in Mumbai. In Mumbai, trading gappers. Stupid fucking questions. BLA submission in Q1. That's too far away. What? Okay. You guys make me want to not stream anymore. Okay. How much money does SPRB need to get through a phase 3? Well, they don't need to get through a phase 3. That's why they're filing for approval in a few months. Oh my god. Oh my god. Those warrants aren't really warrants, it's just shares. So, yeah, around 1.4, 1.5 million shares right now. It's about 15 of us, Brian. Options listings are a funny thing. You can actually request them. I follow Country Dumb Financial Hub. That's my favorite Reddit. r/Country Dumb. Oh, great. Koreans. Ah, great. The Koreans are here. Hangul. Yay. IonQ. Yay. I don't know, Russo. I'm banned on Twitch. I'll say that. Not that many, Matthew Glenn. I mean, it's a very rare disease. Shibag. Yeah, I'll open up my model in a second, but basically the average lysosomal storage disease treatment does around 400 million in revenue. So obviously each drug is different, but I think this will be like that, and 5 times sales is 2 billion market cap. Discount that back a little bit. Pretty nice. Someone ban this footy digest. Hit the ban stick, please. No, just let me just straight ban him. Yeah. Don't need to time him out. Just kill him off completely. Did you set the price at 1 million? What are you talking about? I set what price? What price? Yes, Nick, soon. Yes, Leonard. J Gamer, I don't care about your portfolio. I hate to tell you this, but I really don't give a shit. Don, the Twitter numbers are continuous. They're not a moment in time, so the Twitter just accumulates how many viewers. It's not how many are watching at that concurrent moment. Best analog for IonQ was CMGI. Don't wave that flag, OG. Don't wave that flag. Don't wave that flag here, buddy. Yeah, Joby did a secondary too, right? Quantum computer rally very strong. I don't know why he doesn't know me, Anonymous. Chapman sold $1 million IonQ as he exits the company completely. The guy's rich as hell now. Price on SPRB at $1 million because of a better quality. Oh, I see what you're saying for analogs. Analogs of other ERTs. Other ERTs are more expensive than you think. Their list price and the actual total cost are different. Brian, no, that's 14,000 people have watched. That means if they watch for a minute, they add that. There's not concurrent. Yeah, I saw the 0.72 position in Pally. It's definitely intriguing. What's the new market cap? And didn't they do a deal name here? So I don't know if they did it only in the open market, or did they do it in financing? Yeah, I wish the bankers would have represented the interests of the company a little bit better, but pipes are always a little illiquid. I'm screwed up bottle water. Pipes are by definition illiquid, so the investor has to be locked up. I'm gonna check on my baby right now. I'll be right back. It's Dada! Super baby! Baby to the rescue! Pipes are illiquid. You guys want to see the baby? I do this so that you can see maximum baby. Love you, guy. Love you, my little guy. You're my little baby. Yes, you're my little baby. Yeah, I love you. Get out of here, kitty. Yeah, I love you, buddy. Yes, my little baby. You laughing? Who are you laughing at, Dada? You laughing at Dada? Yeah, your Dada loves you. Hey,
Why, let's talk SpongeBob. Patrick.
My little guy. That's my little guy. That's my little guy. Simba. Simba. Yeah, my little guy. Oh, you like those buildings? You like all those buildings? Yeah. Okay, you getting fussy? You need your mom again? Those buildings are big. They're big as you. You're a big boy too.
He's 6 weeks old. Get this man on training test right now.
Yeah, you farting? You farting on Dada? You pee pee on Dada? You pee pee on Dada? You poop on Dada? Animal pee pees. Animal poo poo.
Easy money stacks. Yeah. Make a little gun with your fist. Come on. Puh, puh, puh. Puh, puh, puh. Money stacks. That's his middle name. That's his government. That's his hood name. Torque is his government name. Yeah. Shoot the ops. The baby's down the block. For Halloween, I'm getting him a gangster outfit. Guns. Knives. Bulletproof vest. Yeah. When we play cops and robbers, we're always robbers. Right? We always the robbers. We bad boys. Yeah. You're going to jail too, just like that. We're gonna have a vicious cycle of incarceration in this family. Yeah. He's like, I want milk.
I want milk. Little man. Little buddy. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you so much.
Any kid talk shit, preschool, smack him right in the mouth. I'm gonna teach you. Right in the mouth. Pop. Just like SpongeBob did that one time. Pop. Show him. Show him with your fish. Go ahead. Pop. Pop. We big chillin' right now. Everybody loves Torque. We chillin'. Yeah. What are you saying? Tell those people. Tell those people. What is that? Who's that? What is that? Are you yawning or what? Are you yawning or what? Oh yeah! Oh no! It's crying time! Don't be a little baby. You're a thug. Stop being a little baby. You're acting like a baby. You're supposed to act like a thug. What kind of thug cries, bro? Bust a gun. What are you sneezing? What are you sneezing for? Yeah. This is my buddy. You wanna watch SpongeBob? SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants.
guy. Hey, little guy. The whole world loves you. You trying to vape? You trying to smoke some weed? What you trying to do? Trying to sell some weed? Let's go. Yeah. Now you ain't getting no free Godel. Get the fuck out of here. You just subscribing like everybody else. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck you, my son. You subscribing like everybody else. Big data. Big data? Quantum? Qubits? Yeah. We on a mission. Oh, that's a good idea, Marshall. We're on a mission, right, kiddo? We're on a mission. Oh, you're so great. You're not even crying or nothing? You wanna go back to mama? You love dada more than mama, right? Yeah, mama's mean sometimes, right? Mama's so mean, you like dada. Dada's the best. Mama's stinky sometimes, I know. She's stinky. You like dada, yeah. Bad mama. Good dada, love dada. Love dada. Easy money stacks. You want to be a baller or a drug dealer? What you want to become? You could be anything you want. Even if you end up being a fiend, I support you. You want to be a mixtape DJ, a bouncer, a truck driver? I support you any which way, bro. I got you. You thug. Those short ETFs are a little fucked mathematically. You should research that. You're gonna make quantum commercially viable in 2048? Wow, that's great. Now, son, when I said you can do anything you want, I didn't say you could do magic, okay? There's some things we just can't do in this world, and quantum is one of them. You're not going to solve NP hard problems like that. I know, NP hard. I know. It's okay, some things are just too complex. Not all algorithms are made the same, little guy. Not all algorithms are made the same. Some algorithms take polynomial time. Some algorithms take exponential time. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And will quantum computer make them anything better? No, baby, no. They stay exponential. They stay exponential. We're not going to teach you fairy tales like Santa Claus or Easter Bunny or Ion Q. No fairy tales. Daddy's going to tell you everything real. Okay? We're going to do sorting algorithms. Okay? Matrix algorithms. Yeah. That's real. Quantum is fake. Alright, buddy, it's time to go back to mama. We love you.
My wifey is so beautiful. She's gorgeous. I want to have 10 more kids. I can't get this camera to sort of stay exactly where I want it. I want you guys to see the lovely Empire State. Right now, top obscured by clouds. Weed smoke, I believe. The weed smoke is clearing. Weed is now legal in New York, so the weed smoke is slowly clearing up there. All right, let's see how we open up here. Confluent supposedly potentially getting bought out. What is this BTQ Technologies? I really want to understand what this thing is. Let's see if I can get my head around it. They say they're quantum related, so that immediately sounds fake and gay. It's a technical term. What is this? They just went public to take advantage of the quantum boom, most likely. What the fuck is this? BTQ. Excuse me, what the fuck is this? Alright, let's look at the F10. Which is the registration statement. Swiss guy. Hong Kong COO, okay. CBOE Canada, okay. What is this Canadian bullshit? First of all, there's no successful company other than Shopify that ever came out of Canada. Ever. Revenue, 666,667 Canadian dollars. That's about, 50 US dollars. Shares outstanding, 124. Oh yeah, this thing's a fucking zero. Let's short some BTQ. Quantum's still up? What the fuck, bro? I'm not feeling this. Fucking feeling this, bro. I'm happy I found a new stock to short. BTQ sounds like a fucking zero. Fucking go ahead, double the quantum stocks again. See how much I care. I don't give a fuck. Because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I'll just short capper. I'll just bide my time. Get into quantum again some other time. Oh man. Top is in. Top is in. Even fucking opens back to 9. That dog shit. You told me you ever thought D-Wave would be around $40 a share. I'd say you're fucking out of your mind. What LSD are you taking? What is this? You trying to squeeze the scrubs? No, we ain't doing that. You can't squeeze me. You can't squeeze the screeze. You can't squizzle the scrizzle. Nvidia's up 2%. There's a new model, I want to say out of Samsung, that many AI people are looking at right now. I'm very curious what my girlfriend thinks actually, but it's a very small model that was able to do well on the ARC AGI benchmarks. Quantum will be back down today, don't worry. I'll make a call. Quantum excrement. Fuck, bro. Send that shit down, bro. Spruce, 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 spruce. Okay, QUBT down, IonQ falling. I have exclusive pictures from Arizona where somebody toured the QUBT office. So I have some photos of that, which is kind of neat. Yeah, Rigetti can't be the most traded stock every day with the most amount of volume when it doesn't actually have a business, and you know, it just doesn't make sense that Rigetti would trade as much as Apple. That makes sense to you? Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, Rigetti, and Apple. Amazon, Palantir, Microsoft, Broadcom, Meta, Oracle, Intel, and Rigetti? Come on. Something's wrong with the market. Something's fucked up with the stock market right now, man. Don't pretend. Don't pretend it has anything to do with quantum physics. Because this shit has nothing to do with quantum physics. It is 100% dumbass market shenanigans. Well, Big Bach, he got a beginner's luck, right? Good old beginner's luck. Man, Rocket Lab, AST. Quantum strengthening back up again. Tesla down a little bit. Like I said, I think it bears paying close attention to the GPU world when it comes to models and efficiency, because efficiency is the name of the game. If you can process more tokens per second, you need less GPUs. Now, Jevons paradox is always there, where you still want the GPUs because you want to do more things with them, serve more customers. And that's a race of efficiency versus compute. You know, the efficiency will keep growing, but the demand for compute will too. So it's very interesting, all NVIDIA watchers and whatnot. And I'm probably gonna head to the office at some point later. We certainly have to do our weekly call, so you guys won't be present for that. This is actually a really good story. Question of Godel. So, I guess I could tell I could tell you guys the story of enzyme replacement therapies. So, a long time ago, there was a company called Genzyme. Let me see if I can show you a little bit of this stuff on my screen here. What's a good way to do this? Yeah, so a long time ago, Genzyme was one of the kind of foundational biotech companies, and it was a really incredible company that pioneered the rare disease industry in essence. And Sanofi ended up buying Genzyme out, but Genzyme was kind of this like really special company. Why? Well, the biotech revolution allowed Genzyme, as you can see here, I forgot Henry Blair, that's a blast from the past. This guy Henry Tremere ended up becoming kind of like one of the main statesmen of biotech. He died 8 years ago. He was a really amazing dude. And he created the rare disease business model by charging very, very high prices for orphan drugs, allowing, you know, basically this model of being able to treat really sick people. It allowed that model to exist, which is a really special thing because it really... Is Kerrisdale doing a new thing? Looks like maybe Kerrisdale is coming out with something today. So Dr. Brady was sort of an amazing thing here. There was a kid with Gaucher disease. Gaucher is a terrible illness where the patient can't metabolize a substrate because they're missing this enzyme. Okay, so genetic deficiency makes that enzyme unavailable. The body's not making it. So the patients can die either in infancy or young adulthood, but the symptoms are terrible. Splenomegaly, so enlarged spleen. So this is glucose cerebridase, or GCD. It just metabolizes these sphingolipids. And so if you can't metabolize them, they accumulate and they end up causing this disease. And so what they did is they started with placentas. And they harvested it from placentas. And then obviously the biotech revolution was taking place at the time where they made a recombinant version called Cerezyme. And this is like some of the first stocks I ever looked at in my life. And Cerezyme was just a gigantic win. But the company bought, bought and created other drugs like Aldurazyme and other, these are called lysosomal storage diseases. So they kept sort of creating these. They had Fabrazyme for Fabry disease, Lumazyme and Myozyme for Pompe disease. So many different, drugs like that. There was a company called BioMarin that was sort of the second place or third place lysosomal storage disease company, also making ERTs, enzyme replacement therapies. You can't make the enzyme, we'll make it and give it to you, save your life. And these enzymes can cost $300K to $1 million a year because there's only 500 or 1,000 people with the disease. So they give the enzymes and it helps the patient. The enzymes aren't perfect, by the way. So BioMarin's making enzymes too, and in fact they partner with Genzyme for Aldurazyme. And they make other enzymes, and they make other rare disease drugs. They make Naglazyme for MPS 6. Very small number of patients, but they still make it one of their biggest drugs. And again, I cut my teeth trading these stocks. I even, in the 2008 recession, I partnered with some big names to potentially acquire BioMarin, which is a pretty wild idea. But 2008 resulted in lots of stocks that were on their butt. And, we thought about acquiring the whole company. Stock was like $10 or something. Anyway, BioMarin kept making these enzyme replacement drugs, and they started to make this drug that Spruce has now. And BioMarin's a big market cap company, 10 billion market cap. but it's been a real dog over the years. The management's not been so great. So BioMarin, continues to chuck out these orphan drugs, but they want something bigger, and so they developed the hemophilia gene therapy treatment, and they're convinced this is going to be the biggest drug maybe of all time. Hemophilia is the bleeding disease, similar to enzyme replacement, but in this case it's factor replacement. You can't make these coagulation factors, and so the patient in hemophilia bleeds. And so what ends up happening is this bleeding is uncontrolled, and you need to replace the factor with recombinant factors, and often you have to take them every day and self-inject. Nowadays you can do twice a week or once a week even in some cases, but hemophilia is a lifelong disease. They developed a drug called Valrox that was supposed to be a cure. It's a gene therapy, you take it once. They thought it would be a multi-billion-dollar drug, at least $4 or $5 billion, right? So they decided to sell a lot of their stuff and no longer develop a lot of their stuff. They sold Firdapse to Catalyst, which is CPRX. So they basically gave this drug away to CPRX. And CPRX market cap, $2.5 billion now. They just gave it away. It made no sense. They had Firdapse globally, but they gave the US rights away to this company Catalyst. Catalyst said, thank you, we'll get this approved, and $2.5 billion free. BioMarin could have kept it and they would have had $12.5 billion market cap instead of $10 billion. But no, they wanted to go all in on Valrox. So they sold the Spruce drug as well to a private company for nothing. They gave it away. And they said, Valrox is gonna make us, a huge company like Alnylam or Regeneron or something like that. Well, Valrox was a dud. Almost nobody takes it. People are comfortable with their factor injections. Valrox doesn't work over really long periods of time, so it's not really a lifelong cure, but it works pretty well. And it's just something that they fucked up. So now Spruce has this enzyme replacement therapy from BioMarin, and again, is it going to make them the next Alnylam or Regeneron? No. Spruce is going to look more like the next Catalyst, where they have a nice little drug that is going to do a few $100 million in revenue, and that's it. What's a few $100 million in revenue worth in biopharma land? Maybe 5 times sales, and 5 times a few hundred is $1 billion. If it's $400 million in revenue, well, that's $2 billion. So it's going to be one of those. And right now it's trading for $250 million, and you do have to discount back those future prices. But in general, it's pretty much what you see is what you get. I will say this drug's a little bit different for a few reasons. One, it's given by what's called an Ommaya reservoir, Ommaya shunt. So it's a flap that's created in the brain. I'll show you how it works, but you guys may not like to see this, so look away if you're squeamish. But my first chief medical officer taught me this, as we were going to develop a brain drug, and I said, how are we going to get this into the brain? And he says, let's do Ommaya. I said, what the fuck is Ommaya? It's 10 plus years ago. Shout out to Chris James. And he says, just show me how it's done. And he says, well, it's this flap. And I said, is that really going to work? And he said, it's done. It's done a lot. And you can see, the head's shaved and the flap is created. And you can inject drugs into there. This is literally, the idea. So ultimately, that reservoir is what's needed here. And, it's not terrible if you're dying. And patients with this disease die very young. Most probably won't make it to 21. So you have to use the Ommaya in this case because enzymes are big molecules that don't cross the blood-brain barrier very easily. And this is largely a brain disease. The other lysosomal storage diseases, interestingly, many of them affect the brain as well. But patients take the IV because, that's all they've got. And it's sad because the brain is a target organ for a lot of those other lysosomal storage diseases. And some people have experimented off-label, unapproved, with intrathecal delivery, which is through the spinal column, kind of where you take a lumbar puncture. and they insert the drug through there. But Sanfilippo B, this disease, is very, very specifically kind of a brain disease. So by giving the drug intracerebroventricular through the LAMAIA, that's sort of how you get the drug there. And what's amazing is these patients, again, they can't metabolize this. Maybe I can show you the enzymatic reaction of that's so funny, cerebrotendinous symptomatosis is this other one. Glucocerebrosidase. And so here's the simple enzymatic reaction. Should be it, right? I just want the image, man. All right. So hopefully you can see this. Let's see if you can see this, sort of. Okay, you can see it. So this is the substrate. Glucocerebroside. And you can see it's a fatty acid with sphingosine and a sugar here. And so the enzyme goes in there and clips the sugar off. And then the fatty acid, sphingosine, is metabolized by something else. But you need this enzyme. You miss this enzyme and this bad boy, the whole thing, will accumulate in many of the cells in your body, if not every cell, in the lysosome. It's going to cause a huge problem as it accumulates and there's no way. I mean, look at this, hugely polar and hugely non-polar regions. You know, this is like a very amphiphilic kind of disgusting molecule that will agglomerate, and you can, in some cases, I mean, it's a really distended sort of cell that's filling up with this shit. And breaking it apart allows, you know, we have many enzymes that'll not just metabolize glucose, but repurpose it into energy, and then also repurpose the fatty acid into energy. So you have this really terrible situation. And but when you have the enzyme, this thing clips. So you just measure how much of this do you see in the body. And in the case of the spruce drug, as I showed in the tweet I made yesterday, the patients, their levels of the gunk drop to normal. And that's what's killing them. So it's pretty amazing. So biotech can be a wonderful thing. This one of the reasons I got into the industry. But, you know, no drug's perfect. And there are not many people with this disease. Now, one thing about rare diseases that I've learned over 20 years of following them is that when there's a treatment for a disease, even especially a very rare disease, people start to get diagnosed more and more. It's a very odd dynamic, but it's kind of a statistical thing where you may not respond to a survey if you don't know what disease the patient has. And if you know what disease the patient has and now there's a treatment for it, you're kind of more aware of it, and you might respond to the survey and say, actually, yeah, I do have 3 people with Sanfilippo B. Where somebody asks, do you have any patients with cerebrotendinous xanthomatosis? You might say, no, I never heard of that. You know, but if the company's out there doing trials, reminding you to look for patients, oh yeah, Sanfilippo B, I know 2 patients with that. I thought there was nothing for them. No, there's a new drug for it? Oh, amazing, great. We'll get them under treatment right away. So you end up finding double, triple, quadruple. In fact, Gaucher disease from Genzyme, the first ever drug of its kind, that started this enzyme replacement therapy revolution. And this is why this stock's so easy to understand, is that Wall Street, behind me, is very used to lysosomal storage diseases. Everyone my age cut their teeth on these lysosomal storage diseases because there were a bunch of stocks that dealt with them. These days there aren't really anymore because many of them that could be treated got treated, but now we got a new one. But in the old days we spent a lot of our time on Wall Street looking at these stocks. So in any event, we got a new one, but this is so easy to understand because it's like Fast and Furious. This is just the Fast and Furious 8. Fast and Furious 9, you know what you're dealing with. Enzyme replacements are really easy to understand once you understand the first one. So anyway, the point I was making is that Cerezyme started off where they said they were only going to see 500 patients. They thought they'd see 500 patients. They ended up treating 5,000 patients on drug right now, or at least at peak. They made new treatments that replaced, I wouldn't say replaced Cerezyme, but took some patients away from Cerezyme. So, you know, they found 10 times more patients with Gaucher than they thought they'd find. And again, if you know, if a disease gets more awareness, you know, people start to find it. And it's a good thing. The company makes more money, but more importantly, more and more people get to get treated. And I found this was going to be the case with toxoplasmosis. One of the reasons it raised the price was to raise awareness of the disease and make more treatments for it and do all kinds of things. There's a healthy symbiosis with the drug industry and physicians. And of course it can be corrupted by companies like Purdue or whatever, but at the end of the day, the more people, for rare diseases, the more people that know about them, the more companies out there helping folks understand rare diseases, I think the better, but that's a longer story. In some cases, you know, with CTX, it was really important to get the word out there that this disease even existed, so nobody really had ever heard of it. And CTX, if you don't treat it early, you get irreversible damage. And enzyme replacement therapies, that's the case too. So you might say, what does a drug company have to do with educating doctors? Well, you go to med school, you don't remember every damn rare disease you learned about. And again, with cerebrotendinous xanthomatosis or pentatheniate kinase associated neurodegeneration or FSGS, focal segmental glomerulosclerosis, these are some of the diseases that I either made the first drug for ever or acquired the first drug ever. And these diseases, I mean, you go to med school, you're never going to remember these diseases again. There's 7,000 human diseases. Nobody can name them all. Nobody except me. But the point is that, you know, reminding doctors with even just a flyer, or in the case of CTX, what we did was CTX causes irreversible brain damage. And we got patients, but before that happens, they get glaucoma. So we told eye doctors, watch your glaucoma patients, they might have CTX. And even if one kid, juvenile glaucoma, adolescent glaucoma, even if one kid has glaucoma that gets referred to go on our drug, well, drug's very expensive, so that's nice for us, but you save the kid from mental retardation. I mean, so who's going to tell the ophthalmologists, hey, watch out, you know, if you got kids with glaucoma that are unexplained, they could have CTX. Ophthalmologists don't know anything about this disease. They don't even know what it stands for or what it means. So educating them with medical symposia, flyers, things like that, you know, just reminding them, you know, probably saved lives and made us money too. So there's a little bit of that goes on where, you know, that's one of the ways you find these patients. A lot of times with rare diseases, it takes 10 years to get diagnosed and people give up. You know, they don't know what's going on, you know. The other interesting thing is the rare disease business is a global business. It's not well understood, is that the US is just one country. It's usually the biggest country, but it's not the whole pie. In fact, for some rare diseases, it's only 30% of revenue. That's unusual in pharma. You know, usually it's much, much, much bigger. This could be as much as 80% in some cases. And you might say, well, Martin, these are $500,000 drugs. How in the world does anybody else afford them? It's a fascinating question. In Brazil, you're constitutionally guaranteed healthcare. And rare disease companies will sue the Brazilian government. They'll actually work with the patient, sue the Brazilian government and say, I'm constitutionally obligated to receive this drug. It's $500,000. You have to pay. The government of Brazil has to pay. Now, Brazil's a big country. A lot of people live there. So Brazil is often the number 2 or number 3 rare disease market. Rare diseases are also big where there's in-marriage or consanguineous reproduction, inbreeding. And in the Middle East, there's often consanguineous, reproduction. And that can often lead to some of these rare diseases. So you go to these big population countries. Now there's some that just can't afford it, like Nigeria, Pakistan, Indonesia. They're not great, but oftentimes, when it's paid for at the government level, there's often this willingness to pay for this one-off thing, especially if it's a dying kid. Most countries have a GDP. They got serious treasury. They can send a check for $1 million or $2 million, and you collect that from every country for the 5 kids here, the 25 kids in Italy, the 7 kids in Slovenia. They'll pay, and it may take some time, but they'll pay. And you also give the drug. You do the right thing. If they don't pay, they don't pay, but you get them onto treatment, no matter what. In terms of prevalence, again, you never know how many people have these diseases. And if you look at the history of the other ERTs, the average ERT, that was at least on the Spruce slide, shows roughly $400 million in revenue. And one of the things you could do, again, you're talking to the guy who did it, is if the incidence prevalence is a little lower than you thought, you bump the price a little bit. In terms of making the patient funnel and modeling it, you have the prevalence, which is people with the disease, and then you have 2 changes every year. How many people are born and how many people die. And that's it. So people who are born, you're going to want them on treatment right away. People who die are no longer modelable in your revenue estimates, sadly, for both them and the company. But the younger people will do better because they're going to be treated right away. The older patients might have irreversible damage. They still might get treated in an attempt to, prolong their life, hopefully. So anyway, that's kind of the story of these drugs. But again, the story of BioMarin holding on to all, building this great portfolio of small rare disease drugs, and then saying, screw it, we don't want them anymore, let's just go for the gold, we're bored, we need a big drug. And they kind of ruined, in a lot of ways, ruined their company. So, really crazy thing that they did. It's almost, surprising they didn't even go more all in and sell the current portfolio. But they just basically said, we're not going to develop any more of these, so let's give them over to other smaller companies. So when I say patients per year, it's really just how many patients are on drug, because it's every year you got to pay. And if the company feels there are not going to be that many patients, maybe you charge $750,000. If you feel there are going to be a lot of patients, maybe you charge $300,000. There's weight-based dosing as well. It's not a trick, but it's often what's done. A little baby needs less drug than an adult, but you do the weight-based dosing on the price it for the baby or the child. And as the child grows, that $300,000 customer might be a $600,000 customer. That's what happened with Naglazyme. So there's a lot of ways to make sure kind of you're going to get the revenue you want. Now, if it's a truly rare disease like SLY syndrome, which is MPS 7, MPS is mucopolysaccharidosis. It's very similar to lysosomal. It is lysosomal storage disease, but it's its own class. And MPS 7 has a drug called Mepsevii, which only sells $20 million in revenue because there's like 8 people who have this disease. And that's fine. But, for Sanfilippo B, we know there's hundreds of people at the very least that have the disease. And more likely, just in the US, I think, and more likely than that, there's maybe 1,000 people globally that could take it and pay for it. So I think it's going to be a pretty handsome drug. But and the team from Spruce worked at BioMarin, so it's a pretty good management team and board in that regard. So we'll see how it goes, but it's a good long. It's not the only long. There's Unicure, Abivax, Sarepta. There's a bunch of stocks I like. It's just not like there's one stock to rule them all. I think anybody who tells you to go all in on one thing it's not doing you any favors. Oh, I have a headache. Hope you like the story time. My head. Baby's crying again. I gotta tell him. Stop crying, little man. You're not a baby. Oh, my head is buzzing. IonQ is down. In fact, Rigetti is now almost down. What a roller coaster. It was up 7 or 8% or something crazy like that. You'll love to see it. The volatility is welcome to anybody long derivatives. Head. Oof. It's this baby, man. Baby's crying like crazy. I'm not feeling that. I don't think I've ever liked Arvinas. Yeah, DDDDS, how do you find the patience? It's a very dark art. In fact, I'll pat myself on the back, but this is a question I looked at my whole life. It's a good question, Big Buck. I didn't think that our child would be anything but very healthy and happy, and I'm very lucky that that's exactly what happened. But I do understand, that some kids will not be healthy, and that's, just such a tragedy. Now, I've always thought I felt the plight of parents with rare diseases, the kids with rare diseases. Now I think I understand it a little bit better. It's really must be the most brutal thing And again, that's why the drug business, you know, is a good business. You know, the amount of people who hate pharmaceuticals is just insane and unprecedented. You know, if your kid was diagnosed with a rare disease and the doctor said, this used to be fatal, but there's a drug now. I mean, you kiss the ground of the drug company that made that, right? The feet of the people who made it. I would. Say, thank you so much for caring about my little disease, this little tiny illness that absolutely nobody gave a shit for. You decided to take the trouble and make this drug and save my kid's life. What can I do to thank you? You know, it's like, but people only have scorn for drug companies, and it's a really terrible thing, because people at drug companies are people too. You know, they're not. You know, they have families. Bless you, baby. They have families that have cancer and Alzheimer's and rare diseases. It's not. In fact, a lot of the people that worked at the rare disease companies were rare disease. You know, families. You know, parents afflicted with their families having a kid with rare diseases. So it. You know, it's really sad that you know, people demonize the industry. You know, we want, I'm not picking on any specific company here, but the companies that we root for versus the companies that need us to root for them, sometimes are very different. To me, it's very, very sad, because, you know, incentives do rule the world. No, I think virtually every drug company is great. It's a hill I will die on. And if you disagree, you know, watch another channel. I don't give a fuck. I would have stronger words, but YouTube would be upset with me if I used them. I'm not here to make any friends. They pretty much raised what they need to raise. Yeah, they raised using the 5-day closing average. I don't know why the bankers can convince them of that. All right, quantum's starting to fall here. Love to see it. IonQ down 4%. What's the Fib say? Fibonacci, I knew Fibonacci's grandson, he owes me money. I trolled Vlad Tenev a little bit. He was like, we have Fibonacci, and I was like, do you have the Lucas numbers? It's a math joke for any of you math jokers. They always do the Fibonacci, but what about Lucas? Trying to tell me Lucas numbers are less important? How about some golden ratio? I actually did see, I think I saw a chart package that had golden ratio. No, most management teams just listen to the bankers jibber. And this company had been kind of cash starved for a while, and the stock price just flew, so not surprising the investors are a little price sensitive, but yeah, you know, I wish they did it at the market. But they also did it very quickly, apparently. But supposedly there are some long-term investors that are very interested in it, so I'm glad to hear that. Oh no, I hear baby. Oh no. Oh no. We run and save him. Little Torque, what are you so scared of? It'd be great to make a baby thought decoder like, I am hungry. Yet again, I am hungry. Is connecting to GPT. Mother, I am tired, and I'm crying for no reason. Jeffries is doing another quantum call. They say fully useful quantum computing, or at least a decade away. Quantum computing available today barely exceed 1,000 qubits. Actually, none of them really have 1,000 qubits. But they would require 1 million to perform useful tasks. That's not even true unless the fidelity improved too. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Wifey made me some amazing food unsolicited. That's why she's the best. Yogurt from scratch, that is an Albanian thing called kos. Yeah, IBM's on 1,000 qubits, yeah. So maybe quantum dropping on the Jeffries call.
really hot.
Woo! Dang. Ladder attack. Just straight Euclidean distance. I don't know anything about Pally, to be honest. Of course, I work on weekends. Well, Godel isn't trading software, it's information software. But yeah, you can definitely use it for Germany. Oh yeah, I've looked at Abiona, of course. Favorite rapper from New York, I mean, Jay-Z, I guess, Jadakiss, Twitter is cesspool. Man, they arraigned Comey. Seeing the FBI chief get arraigned makes me very happy. Very happy. Justice is being served. Looks like the sun is out. I should probably head to the office. Maddie, I'm not sure. Yeah, I know, Austin. Thanks. Congrats to you too. I don't think so, Big Buck. I don't think so. Depends on the terms, I guess. I can't give a tour because my camera's wired. I guess I could turn it all around, but no need for that. I mean, I don't know why you'd be mad, Thick. I mean, it's a pipe. You can't trade the pipe shares. And then you have to wait for registration, and there's no way to short it or anything either, so. Oh, great. Congrats. We're in New York City. I'll be in San Francisco soon if any of you guys want to hang out. San Francisco meetup. Yeah, I don't know, Thick. I think they just wanted to do a deal, and they did a deal, and the, pipes always, like, I don't know if you've ever done a pipe, but pipes always kind of come with a deep discount. Not always, but the stock just tripled. I mean, it's 7x. I assume they'd have up to 3 million shares of dilution in my model, so I'm pretty happy. Just 1.5. We have a house over there, Mike. I'm not going to split my time between New York and SF, but I am definitely going to spend time there. SF is the place to be right now, man. There's nothing like it. Figma recommendation? Have I ever talked about Figma? Some of you guys make up some of the recommendations I've given. Yeah, I'm definitely going to come to Austin. Yeah, San Francisco has a lot of growth. F, the answer is since April. Let's go, Quantum. that's when I started the account. Gus. I like SPRB. Superb. I got in at like 35. I still think it's going to go to 500 or more. It seems like Adam Feuerstein's like throwing some shade at me. That little piece of shit. I mean, in his twisted head, he probably thinks I tried to make the stock go up for some reason. And I wish I had that power, because then I'd send quantum to 0. No, I did not, Natty. I'm not short open, but I'm, I think it's a short. You're telling me what my lane is? That's amazing. Like you know me. Oh, this is the put wall guy. I did some research. been talking about that all day, John. We'll see, Henry. They're probably gonna do more dilution too next year. Promethazine. Why lie though? There's a thing called Mark to Market, Sick Doctor. Just check it out. It's really cool. Man, I really hate you guys. Make me lose faith for humanity. I don't really buy it, Brian. I just look at stocks, and if they come up, they come up. People ask me to look at them. I'm not a professional investor anymore. I mean, beneath the prize, that's what QUBT is doing. They're pretty smart. I have many skills, Brian. I program, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't need to scratch any itches. Yeah, I'm probably gonna stick to software. But, you know, I look at stocks of all types, and like, having some training in biotech helps me look at biotech stocks, but I can get training in energy stocks or any other stock. Don't know anything about Santa, really. At one time I saw they had a press release. Yeah, I kind of want to take it easy, but Capper is coming. I really want to short that. Yeah, I mean, we know a lot about Peter Chapman. I heard a rumor he's starting a new quantum company. But he's kind of dumb, so I don't know. Capper's coming soon. Next 30 days, I gotta get ready. It's gonna be a profit extravaganza. I don't know why they go all the way up here. Maybe we need better windows. Best city in the world. Capper is data is coming out. Yeah, try not to make trading fun, because then you're gonna get addicted to like price changes and shit like that. You know, it's not supposed to be fun. Try to focus on P&L and fundamental research. Well, really fundamental research. Forget the P&L as well, because you get obsessed with looking at stock price changes. I don't think so, Paul. I just don't have the time to be in that business. I'm building a very successful software company. So that's my main gig. And my baby just keeps me from sleeping. And you guys keep me from sleeping. That's all right. I haven't even started shorting it, so I haven't. What's wrong with you? Some of you guys are weirdos, straight weirdos. I'm banning a bunch of you. Go find another channel. You'll be better welcomed at the Destiny channel. Thanks, Dridex. Go to Destiny. Go to Aiden Ross. Leave me alone. I don't even really know what Santa is. Yes, Spencer. We have 15 people work at the company, 13 or 12 of which are engineers. We get data live from exchanges, of course, which is where most people get them. And yeah, it's a really big job. We use something called ClickHouse. It's become somewhat more popular over the years. It's a very good database. This Russian guy, crazy Russian, made an extremely fast database. We use Kafka. Kind of event-based architecture. But it's not without its challenges. Financial programming is one of the hardest ways to build a system. I mean, it's just so hard. Why they buy? We moved from Python to Brainfuck. Brainfuck's really good. It's got types. You ever code exclusively in Brainfuck? 3-year data for Sarepta is out. Looks pretty good. Just reading Twitter is so toxic. Ooh, quantum's all down. I like it. Let's go. Yeah, we're next to S. Capricorn is a one-trick pony. Hope 2 already failed too. Hope 3 is definitely gonna fail. Okay guys, I'm gonna take a little break. I don't know when I'll be back. might be tomorrow. But love you, thank you. Try Goodell, Goodell Terminal.